You are now listening to the Highly Evolved Podcast. You can find this channel on Twitter, Gab.ai, BitChute, and Minds.com. This is a Real American Patriot channel for Real American Patriot. If you're not a Real American Patriot, please exit the channel. Furthermore, we are not sponsored by any outside interference. That means we're unscripted, unrehearsed, and unedited. With that being said, transmission will commence momentarily.
How are you guys doing? This is the HighlyEvolvedPodcast Podcast. I'm your host, Stefan. You can find me in Minds, BitChute, Twitter, and Gab.com. Most importantly, I'm writing YouTube until the wheel fall off. Like, share, subscribe me on YouTube as well. On that note, guys, let's start the show. In this episode, I want to read you an article from the Daily Wire that I read about a Psychology Today research that shows this thing about transgender is being dehumanizing, all right? But let me put this up for you guys so we can read this together. All right, let me give you 1 second. There you go. Just bear with me, guys. There you go. It says, Psychology Today, people refusing to date transgender is dehumanizing. Reason where is still expressing using dehumanizing language. All right. If you are a heterosexual, cisgender is retarded people, person who only wishes to date heterosexuals, cisgender people, then shame on you for dehumanizing transgender and non-binary. What the heck? According to a recent article published by Psychology Today. The article explores a study written by Karen L. Blair, I'm guessing she's a liberal, Ray Ashley Hoskins in the Journal of Social Personality Relationship, right, which essentially chastise people as bigots for the sin of being attracted to men who are actually men and women who are actually women. This is ridiculous, all right? That's called normality, all right? Normalizing thing, all right? It's called the norm. It's not taboo, all right? While also arguing that the prevailing attitude contribute to the psychological harm of transgenderism. Yeah, they're harming themselves. It's not normal to say you're something else. Well, clearly what you have, you're junk. According to your junk, is what it defines you what you are. All right. The first conducting of the study, Blair and Hoskins asked the close 1,000 participants what kind of partner they prefer and given them the following options: cisgender women, cisgender men, transgender women, transgender men, a person with non-binary gender identifications. Ridiculous. Unsurprisingly, 87% of those polls say they prefer the first two options, depending on which they swing. Cisgender men and women, respectively, non-binary and transgender people were the bottom of the typical and were only chosen by people who are identified by bisexual, gays, and other typical sexual. Yeah, because these people are not normal. The mass consensus doesn't condone this. The mass consensus does not consist of primarily transgender and binary people. These people account for 0.1% of the population. That's why there's not that much people. That's why to them the number seems skewed, because they don't see the real number. They're stupid. This woman is researching this thing. All right. The reason why people prefer traditional marriage, traditional relationship, because that's the majority consensus. Why can't they get it to their thick skulls? These people, these transgender, only make a small percentage of the world populations. All right. These are fractured people with fractured mind, and they still don't understand that. With fractured mind, that's what they are. The result were other cisgender heteros. The author finds is deeply problematic. Why is this problematic? It's the norm. What they're doing is taboo. All right? Believe that the attitude needs to change. No, it's not. Why you want to change the whole attitude? Why don't you go to a Muslim country and try to change their attitude? If this is their narrative, why don't you go to a third world country or go to India and try to tell them to change their acceptance? No, don't try to change anything. People are the way they are because they're the way they are, right? If trans and non-binary people lack access to one of the most stable sources of social support, what the heck? This could explain some of the existing health disparity within trans community. They write, look more closely into the patterns of response. It also comes clearly that individuals were likely to repress the interest of dating a trans woman. Yeah, because it's not nature ways of doing things. All right. Deuteronomy 22:5. A man should not put a woman's garment. A woman should not wear a man's garment. Something like that, right? Look it up. Even with their sexual identity, would otherwise indicate an interest of women, i.e., straight, lesbian, women, queer, bisexual individuals. Indeed, nearly 20% fewer people indicate interest in trans. What? Indeed, nearly 20% fewer people indicate an interest in trans, of course, than they would be expected to base the sexual identity of an individual within the samples. The author also explained the participant response to the similar study by the Canadian Psychological Association annual convention, which yields similar results. Of course, idiot, because it's not the norm. These people, these transgender, binary people, make a small fraction of the population. That's why the numbers seem like that, and they don't understand that. However, the author blamed that this is a several factor outside the natural itself. Dehumanizing, prejudice. What the heck? Uncertainty of the lack of knowledge. So you're saying the whole world population are dehumanizing and prejudiced? All right. So you're saying the whole world, See, that's what they're saying. The world is prejudiced. It make no sense. An issue related to the body and the reproduction. The most common reason of being unwilling to consider dating a transgender, because you can force somebody to date transgender if they don't find them attractive. All right. Non-binary people was a participant and felt that they lack the information and understanding. Oh, they don't need information to understand. They know what they want. If they don't want to date transgender, they don't want to date transgender. Because these people are fractured mind. I'm telling you. Their mind is fractured. They've been damaged. They're damaged good. For what precisely these kind of identity means within the context of dating, the author continued. For example, many simple stated that they have never really considered the question before they were unsure of what it would mean to be in a relationship with the transgender or non-binary individual. Other reasons, however, were less about lacking the information and more about strong dislike of trans people. The author scolded participants. Oh my God. You mean the researcher? These two women? No, you gotta ask the author who people did the research. Would they date transgender if they come to these conclusions? Huh? I guess they would, because these people are fractured mind. We should not take the people who did this research seriously. But let's continue. The author scolded participants for saying transgender have make-believe identity for wanting to date people with whom they could have actually biological children, criticizing their language and dehumanizing them. So they're not human, they're subhuman. I'm probably going to get a lot of heat from YouTube for me saying that. The majority of individuals mention a desire the only people with whom they could have biological related children. However, often these reasons were still expressed using dehumanizing language, such as saying the trans men were not natural. Of course they're not. They're not. They're not. If they consider trans men, why even say they call them trans men for? They're it. And real men. And therefore it would not be possible to have children with them. Of course, men can't reproduce. How? There's no benefit of being these things. You're choosing to be persecuted. You choose to be discriminated. You choose to put yourself in this awkward position. You made a choice in life, and this is a choice you're willing to make. All right? The natural consensus, the word consensus does not condone this, and you choose to go against the grain. And this is what happened. When you choose to go against the grain, you're going to face discrimination, face outrage, and face people that don't agree with you. All right? The author concluded that while they cannot mandate who people should or shouldn't date, they stress that transgender dating cisgender should be seen as a sign of progress, even bit as much as interracial dating. Why you gonna tell a straight man that to date a transgender man? That makes sense. A straight man is the reason why he's straight, because he's like a member of the opposite sex. All right, a man like a transgender man, that means he's gay. All right, that means he's gay. So what the heck? Now you're adding more confusion on this. This is a pile of confusion on top of dog crap. All right, it doesn't make no sense at all. This whole identity politics, this whole gender and all stuff is a pile of crap. All right, just as sociologists have tracked acceptance on an interior racist relationship as a metric of overall societal acceptance of racial minorities, future fluctuations in the extent to which trans and non-binary individuals are concluded within the inmate world of dating may help to illuminate progress or lack thereof with respect of fully including trans and non-binary individuals with our society. They conclude. All right, the people who are doing this, the author. Let me see the author's name. What's the author's name? Karen Blair and Ray Ashley Hopkins. These women are so ignorant for what are they? They claim to be scientists. Are they actually scientists? What are they? Are they doctors? Or are they just students? Right? To make us accept these kind of things. Clearly, these people are fractured minds. All right, and they're mad. They're mad because the number doesn't go their way. It's because the number doesn't go their way. They swerve the way to think. They're gonna say the people are prejudiced and they saw transgender, she's dehumanizing. Now you're attacking your sample pool right now. All right, just because your sample pool doesn't agree with you, you have to attack them. First of all, you picked these people to sample your data with, all right, and they still don't understand that the general consensus still doesn't accept this as natural, because what determined natural is what God says, is what people feel, is what they see, all right? If you have a genital of a man, you identify as a man. If you're a genital of a woman, you identify as a woman. If you have the chromosome of a man, you're supposed to identify as a man. You have a chromosome of a woman, you identify yourself as a woman. Now, if you just cut off your weeby off, then you're still a man. Just because you cut your weeby off, that doesn't determine whether you're a woman or not. And you cannot, and to try and make straight man to date transsexual man. How does that make sense? A straight man will not date a transsexual man because he's straight. He's attracted to women. All right, you cannot make him like a transsexual. What the heck? Now, just because I'm not willing to date transsexual. Now I'm a bad guy. That make no sense, all right? This study is so bizarre. But let me know what you think. You think this stupid, idiotic? All right, these psychologists today try and label people just because they don't accept a group of people's behavior. You think it's the right thing you did? You think it's dehumanizing? Let me know if you agree. Because of what I'm saying, YouTube don't want to monetize my channel. Because I'm not monetized, that means I'm unscripted, unrehearsed, unedited. That means I can say what I want without being bounded by any outside interference. And because of that, I'm not taking any donations. All right? Because I'm not taking donations, the point of this channel is to get people to think. All right? One way you can help me by getting people to think by like, share, subscribe. Because when you like, share, subscribe, it encourages me to make more videos. When you encourage me to make more videos, it saturates YouTube algorithm. When it's saturated YouTube algorithm, I'm more prevalent to the masses. My video will be more acceptable to the mass, more spread out to the mass, and it will get people to think. That's the point. I want people to think. You don't have to agree with me. Just by you thinking, it helps a lot. But I don't know. Let me know you agree. Leave your comment below. I know your time is very precious. I do not want to waste your time. This is the HighlyEvolvedPodcast. My name is Safan, and I'm signing out. Peace.